Hey guys, it's the Geek again, and forgive me, my place is a little hectic. See? Hectic? Okay. Sorry. It's Thanksgiving, and I have nowhere to be. I've got nothing to do. No one really to see. So, I thought I'd do a review, since I got nothing else to do, and I haven't seen you guys in a while. So, we are going to touch on another toy line. It's been a while, and I will show you guys these in better detail a little bit later. But for now, we're just going to go over them a little bit. These came out, I think, in 1997. I've done very little research, so I apologize about that. I couldn't find, and maybe I didn't look hard enough, I couldn't find a checklist of when they were released chronologically, but I did find a complete list of what all was released. These are the Marvel Famous Cover Series. And you're asking yourself, Geek, famous covers? That sounds so dumb and boring. Who's going to buy a figure based on a cover? And I feel I need to clarify a little bit. These aren't even really action figures. If you're an older collector, you remember a toy line called Miko. And they made everything in the form of an 8-inch doll. And the way they could do this was, all they had to do was make a different head, put different clothing on it. It's the same doll body, either a female buck or a male buck. And you could just put different clothes and heads on, and boom, you got a figure. And they threw every figure out. And for a while, this is the only toy line that mattered. Fast forward to the 1990s. I'm just starting out in collecting toys. And I learn all too fast that Miko figures are way too pricey if you want to get a complete one. And there's so many of them, you're never going to get any kind of complete set. And then these come out. And while I don't consider these action figures, yes, they're dolls. These are the only dolls I really buy. They are kind of a throwback to the old Miko toy line. These were made by Toy Biz when Toy Biz had everything Marvel. And the first wave, we got... Well, you know what? Let's take a look at the figures first, and then we'll get into what came out. Okay, guys, here's a more close-up look of the Marvel Famous Covers collection. Or, I'm sorry, to be more accurate, the Marvel Comics Famous Covers series. And I know you can't really read that, but this was the Spider-Man one from Amazing Fantasies 15. Everyone is packaged like this. You got the main character, you got the 8-inch ultra puzzleable figure with authentic fabric costume, little thing there, the logo from Toy Biz, the name of the character, and the comic they're promoting or trying to use as an excuse to make this figure. And we open it up, and it's got the window with the name of the character and the character himself in a big old window, like Marvel, Barbies for Marvel kind of thing. And then over here, we have the bio, a little bit about the comic, and a little bit about the character, and another couple of art pieces. And then on the back we have the Aunt May special offer. So let's open this up and take them out. And before I go further, I gotta point out, this here is a proof of purchase. I know at least one of these is missing from my boxes, because when my parents got these for me, they got all of them including Aunt May at once. So, in order to do that, they had to cut one or two of those out to do that. But, here's Spider-Man, and let's take him out. I'm standing awkwardly. Maybe I'm supposed to be swinging or something, I don't know. But, he's pretty darn poseable, and the costume really is fabric. It's pretty... I like that a lot. It's awkward, because we don't usually see that in figures nowadays. And, I do wish they could have, like, maybe stopped at the hands, because it feels like a onesie they're wearing, you know? I mean, there's no finger glove thing. He's making a fist and you almost can't tell. But he's got the webbing under the arms, and I always liked that. I don't think I've ever seen that in a figure before. And then one of the big things they were using as a selling point, at least for this specific figure, is you could undo the Velcro, and it's Peter Parker inside. Hi, I'm Peter Parker, apparently. But the problem is, the mask doesn't come off on its own. You'd have to, like, you gotta pull the costume off, almost, to get that to work. And I think I have another figure that works differently with a similar outfit, but we'll get that back on. And yeah, this is the only cosmetic issue I have, other than the fingers, is like the Velcro is so thick. It's like seeing the zipper in a monster movie, you know? It kind of takes away from the imagery. But, oh, and his mask is on crooked. There we go. And the head doesn't really fit on the costume the way you feel Spider-Man's mask should fit on him. But I do like these figures a lot. They are very, very posable. I always bent them around like this, maybe. Maybe you can't see that. And, I enjoy these guys a lot. It's a lot of fun to like pose them and take photos and stuff. I'm not going to do that today because I just don't have the will or time. But this is just an example of the norm for the figures. Like, there are definitely differences. Like, Thor has his hammer, Iron Man has more of a shell armor over half the costume, and the front of his helmet would come off. Doctor Doom, his arms and legs are like this rubbery substance that is supposed to be armor, and it's not. Cap has his shield, Hulk has, well, just his pants, and I'm trying to think of other examples. Falcon has his wings, the Green Goblin has a pumpkin bomb and a glider, and there's plenty more examples, but we don't need to get into them completely. Maybe we'll get into them more as I show them off. But yeah, Marvel Famous Cover Series, I think these things are awesome, and I will get into more talking about them right now. So, that's how Famous Cover figure is put together. So we got a couple of them. We've got, for the first wave, we've got the Amazing Spider-Man, and this isn't a red and black costume for some reason. I don't know why. And we got Storm in the classic 80s outfit. We should point out each cover of these. Amazing Spider-Man. This figure came from Amazing Fantasies number 15, which was Spider-Man's first appearance. I'm hoping you can see that in the frame. This we got Uncanny X-Men number 128, Storm in her 80s and 70s costume. And that's something else I really liked about these figures. They didn't go with the outfit they were currently wearing, at least not at first. They went with an outfit from a cover that was popular or groundbreaking. And so we got Storm in the old school outfit, and I think for a toy this was pretty risky. Risque, whatever the word is. And another thing I like, I keep opening these, there's a little bit of information about the character and the comic they came from. Like from here, presented here as she looked in the classic Uncanny X-Men number 126 from April 1990. And they go into the outfit a little bit too. So that's pretty cool. Then we've got, is this the first one? Yeah. Then we got Wolverine. And this was the outfit he was wearing at the time, at the current time when the toys were coming out. This is from Uncanny X-Men 133. And there's Wolverine. And then we got a villain from Amazing Spider-Man number 39, the Green Goblin. And let's see how long these have been in storage. Sorry. So we got the Green Goblin, and he has his Goblin glider and a pumpkin bomb, and I think that's really awesome. And I love the artwork on here. I could actually ID this Goblin image in comic book form, but they've altered it for the packaging. But that's neither here nor there. Now, those are the first 4 figures in the first wave. But if you sent in a couple proof of purchase, you could get a bonus figure. And let's see what it says. Be the first to own the 8-inch ultra posable Aunt May action figure from Toy Biz. Only 10,000 figures will be produced, so don't miss out on this limited one-time offer. See details inside. Here's the problem with this. That advertisement was on at least half of the run. So, I got all of these for, I want to say my birthday or a Valentine's present from my mother. Yeah, I was that kind of kid. And, I opened them up, and she had already ordered the Aunt May one, which is awesome. Like, you know, a lot of kids aren't going to care, but collectors are going to really want these. The thing was, we never had to rush, because they were in no way going to run out of those. So that's the first wave, and I think it did pretty well. For a long time, these were pretty hard for me to find. And then we got wave 2, which was a first appearance run. There's always a theme going on with these lines in later runs. First one we have is Journey into Mystery number 83, the first appearance of Thor. God of Thunder, son of Odin, blah blah blah, it's all dusty. So yeah, that's pretty good. And he comes with his hammer, and I think, no, it does not, never mind. I have a figure that actually has the inscription on the hammer. This one does not, which is sad. He's the one that did. Actually, it was smaller than this. I really wish they would have done that. But there are a lot of other great attentions to detail, which I'm not seeing any point out on Thor, but we're going to get to more. Oh, we should start stacking properly. Okay. Next, we got another villain, kinda. Dark Phoenix from Uncanny X-Men 135. And there's Dark Phoenix. I've opened most of, if not all of these, and put them back in, so they're not in really nice, some of them. The Phoenix, I couldn't get her belt to go in right, so there's a problem with that. This one was one of my favorites. From Fantastic Four, number 5, Dr. Doom. And I got the dust circle again. And you can't really see him, but I will show him off a little bit later, maybe in the credits or something. This figure is fun and dumb at the same time. The biggest reason is they kind of followed the Miko style of making these figures. They all had the same body and they just threw different clothes on them. Dr. Doom, his arms and legs are wearing this kind of rubber to imitate his armor. And it gets really kind of sticky. I don't understand it at all, but it's really kind of gross. And if you take him off, you're going to have a hell of a time putting it back on, and it's really just not, there's no point to it. And then one of my favorite figures in this run, from the Avengers number 4, can we guess who it is? Can we guess? It's Captain America! This was one of the 2 figures I really had trouble finding back when I was really collecting them. And the other figure I didn't get to find. I have the majority of the first runs of these, but I started missing some of them, and I am missing at least a good third of the collection. So that's the second wave. Our third wave is, what is it? Marvel Milestones. So let's go with this one. From Daredevil number 7, we have Daredevil, even though for some reason Namor is on the cover. And this must be the old school Daredevil. Maybe it'll say in here. No, there's no longer any information about the actual comics in here. But, yeah, we still have the Aunt May ad. And he's got his billy clubs, which are pretty cool. They don't connect like nunchucks would or anything. But I think you can put the 2 together. I really should open this up and take a look at them. What I really like about this cover, the MMMS wants you. And I remember that being a big deal back in the 60s. I don't remember it personally. I wasn't there, but it was pretty interesting to hear about. Okay. Then we have another Marvel Milestone, number 1 in a 4-issue limited series, The Falcon. Falcon's a character I never really cared about, but he really wasn't a character made in my generation or really promoted for me. You know, he was of an older age, and he's definitely a breakout character, but I just didn't care, you know. And there's the Falcon. He's got his wings. They're pretty cool. I don't know if I've ever taken him out of the package. But, yeah, we got Falcon. And then the villain of the run is from X-Men number 240, Mr. Sinister. Got that dust circle again. And I know I've taken him out at some point. He's a pretty cool figure for what he is. And the figure I missed in this run is Black Widow. I do not have the Black Widow figure. I really wish I did. I saw her a couple times. This is a point in my life where I didn't have much money, or I was spending it very fruitlessly, as opposed to today. And it's just hard for me to keep up with everything for some reason. And maybe one day I'll go back and collect the rest of them. And if I do, we will do an update video. And then wave 4, and keep in mind, I am not 100% sure on the waves at this point. After Marvel Milestones and First Appearance, they get mixed up in my mind. So, bear with me on these. Next is the Avengers Assemble series, and this is the Vision from Avengers number 57, which is pretty ironic considering the movie coming out next year. The Vision's a pretty cool figure. I don't know if I like him in this color tone or in the plain white color tone. This feels more retro to me, even though I think the other color came first. I'm not 100%, don't quote me on that. But yeah, that's the Vision. Then we've got Hawkeye from #1 in a 4-issue limited series, Adventures West Coast, which turned out to be a long title run. So there's Hawkeye. He's got the bow and the quiver of arrows, and I think those arrows actually come out. I'd have to open them up and check again. I don't remember. But this is Hawkeye in his original outfit, as far as I can tell. I don't remember. Then we have one of my favorite figures. I couldn't believe it took him this long to make these figures. Number 116 of the Incredible Hulk. And it's the Hulk. Ripped purple pants, that's all you need. It's the Hulk. Come on. And then one of my favorite figures of this wave is Iron Man. Now you can see, I don't know if it's a good view there, there's this little plastic piece that's supposed to cover the circle on his armor, which does not want to stay on apparently. But what I really liked about this figure is the helmet opens up. Like, the whole helmet doesn't come off, but the faceplate does. And you can see Tony Stark behind it. And once again, we have the Aunt May stuff. But this is from Iron Man number 126. The Invincible Iron Man girl. Okay, and then we have Wave 5, I'm hoping. And out of the 4 figures in this wave, I only have 2, sadly. Magneto and Cyclops were in this wave, and I missed both of those. But from issue 1 of her own original series, we have Rogue. You can open this up. But yeah, I really liked Rogue, so of course I'm going to grab that figure. Just stack them up here. And the other one I got was Nightcrawler. And this figure, this box was strange to me because on every other figure, they have their little art piece on the side, but for some reason, on the one side, Nightcrawler's missing from this packaging. And I don't get that, but whatever. Oh, and the image is gone. This might be a mistake box or something, but each box says 8-inch ultra-posable figure with authentic fabric costume, except for Iron Man because it's not fabric. Well, maybe some of it is. But this does not have that. It has the indentation of where it would be, but it's not on there. And this and Rogue were previews exclusives, which means you weren't going to find them in regular stores. You'd have to go to a comic store or a specialty store. And there's Nightcrawler, and it really bums me out because he has a half-closed hand as if he was going to hold a sword. So I honestly feel Nightcrawler was an unfinished character for some reason. He has the tail and it's posable, but I'm afraid to use that because at some point it manipulates the outfit he's wearing, and you just don't want to risk that. Nightcrawler is from X-Men Unlimited number 19. Oh, and in the back, we have lost the Aunt May ad, and we've got another art piece of the figures, special collector's editions. And I think that, no, those are on all of them. But yeah, these were marketed as collector's toys, and of course I opened them all up, but I really enjoyed them. I really liked having these figures. So we're going to do Wave 6, which was another X-Men wave, Children of the Atom. And again, I only have 2 of these figures. They released Gambit, which is a character I never liked, so I kind of have tried not to get that one. And another costume of Wolverine. He had the older brown, goldish yellow costume. Not the one that showed up, I think, in the 80s and 90s, but the one before that. Like when he first showed up, I think it was that kind of outfit. No, that was, I don't know, an older costume. I think it showed up in the first new X-Men comic. But yeah, I missed Gambit and Wolverine, but I got these 2. I got Sabretooth. This one is from X-Men number 6, and this is Sabretooth. And I am really impressed with the costume on this, and overall everything. And I never really cared about Sabretooth, but I really was impressed by this figure. And the other figure I got in this run was from X-Men number 53, Jean Grey. And having this figure makes me really wish I had gone back and gotten Cyclops. Yeah. So we got Jean Grey here. Pretty articulate. Something about her face sculpt rubs me the wrong way. I just don't care about it. And her and Sabretooth again have their own little art piece on the back. And then we had a wave that was really 2 mini waves. And sadly I only have one of those 2 waves. There was a Bad Guys wave, and then a Marvel Divas wave. And the Bad Guys wave I missed. Sadly. Very sadly. And that was a Red Skull and Carnage. And this was towards the time where the figures were running out of steam. We knew this toy line was done for. And they were like a passing thing you would see at the collector store. I'm like, oh man, those are out? I wish I had money. And you forget about them. And, oh, Carnage! They made Carnage! It's so depressing. But I got the other one, which was Marvel Divas. And for that wave, we got Scarlet Witch from Avengers number 186. Yeah. So, and I think that was the outfit she was wearing at the time. Maybe the outfit before, back in the 80s at least. And then the other one was Psylocke. And I honestly feel we had more Marvel characters we could have gone to before Psylocke. And you know what? She's on the same cover as Sabretooth, X-Men number 6. This figure just feels like a waste of time. Why did they waste our time getting this? But opening her up, she does look kind of cool. She has, this one has some costume damage, which was like that in the packaging. And then she has this little Psi power sword, which I never noticed before now for some reason. And yeah, I thought we could have done much better than Psylocke. We could have gotten She-Hulk or Ms. Marvel or somebody. I'm sick of X-Men. We don't need more and more X-Men characters. And we have one more figure that came out as another previews exclusive during the very end of the wave, but I'll get into that one at the end. But we also had some Toy Store exclusive 2-packs. This was the first one from Target, from Fantastic Four number 3, Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman, and limited edition, one of 12,000 pieces made. And these were harder to find than the Aunt May. And these open up double-sided. And I kind of wish they had incorporated some kind of stretching ability for Mr. Fantastic, but they didn't, and it's fine. I can live with it. I really wish we could have gotten Human Torch and the Thing, but we got half the FF, we got Doctor Doom. I think I'm good. And this was a Target exclusive. Then the next 2-pack we got was a Toys R Us exclusive. And this is from Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, issue 126, Black Costume Spider-Man, and Spider-Woman. And this was the second Spider-Woman, the one that was around at the time these figures were coming out. And I like these costumes. Again, there's a little bit of wear damage in the packaging on Spider-Woman, but you know, these things aren't around at all anymore, so you can't really complain. I really wish I took better care of these figures, but I had limited space. I was a kid growing up in the 90s and 2000s, and it was really hard to take care of these. Plus, you're taking them out and messing around with them once in a while. But anyway, this is the last 2-pack I saw, and this is another Target exclusive from Amazing Spider-Man number 9 of Spider-Man and Electro. And both their masks come off. I forgot to mention that. In every one of these runs, Spider-Man's mask came off, and Wolverine's mask would come off. At least in the one I have. I don't know about the other one. But this Spider-Man has the red and blue outfit that we're more familiar with, and the classic Electro outfit, and his mask comes off. And that's always fun. And now, we come to the end. This was the last figure they came out with. This is the only figure that came out in this way. And this was under Marvel Comics 2, MC2, an alternate reality in the comic book stories. My favorite comic book character ever, Spider-Girl, from Spider-Girl number 0, which is a reprint of What If number 105. I think it's their second volume. And this is the daughter of Spider-Man. And I was just so excited when I saw this one. I saw this figure at the store, and I'm like, what must I do to acquire this figure? And I had to get this one. I was so excited. And this one has ads on the back for 6-inch figures that were really like KB Toys exclusives. And we don't need to go into them, but there's pictures of some of them. So yeah, those are the figures I have and the figures I missed. I'm going to put a list of figures that I missed if anybody wants to be really awesome and help me out with collecting these. And I'm going to start doing that with with lines that I review and are missing pieces of, just in case somebody really nice is out there. I really enjoy these. They hint at a simpler time in toy history, and they made me feel like a kid might like what a kid might feel like in the 60s trying to get these toys. And it almost makes me wish they used the packaging from back then. But these were a lot of fun. This was the time when I was actually starting to keep the packages of the figures, and it was a lot of fun. And if you're looking for something that's kind of a small checklist of toys, it's pretty obscure, kind of hard to find, but if you really dig, you'll find some. I would recommend these. They also had 2-packs during the first X-Men movie that I remember, that I didn't find on this list, but I remember seeing them. They had one for Toad and one for Storm, which would be a comic book adaptation costume and a movie adaptation costume. And I know there's another Storm figure out there. This might be the Storm that was in that 2-pack, but they made a Storm with the white costume that she wore in the 90s. So that's it for Marvel Famous Covers, and until next time, this is the Geek saying, good journey.
Hi. To be continued.